There's no time. 5 people will die, or 1. It's your decision. Pull the lever, 1 person dies and 5 survive. Do nothing, the 5 die and that 1 person survives. What is the right choice? There is no right choice. This isn't just a puzzle. It's the trolley problem, the most dangerous ethical question ever asked. A question that reveals the eternal conflict within our own minds. Welcome to Cogitaski. Grab your coffee because today we won't be sitting quietly. Today we are putting you in the driver's seat and we are forcing you to make the call. Let's go back to the first scenario. You are in front of the lever. 5 people on the main track and 1 person on the side track. Most people, when asked this question, say, pull the lever. The logic seems simple and clear. The death of 1 person is a tragedy, but the death of 5 people is a tragedy 5 times greater. This thinking follows a school of philosophy called Utilitarianism. Its pioneers, like Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill, argue that the right moral action is the one that leads to the greatest good for the greatest number. According to this logic, the calculation is simple. Saving 5 lives at the cost of 1 is the better outcome. You are choosing the action that minimizes harm and maximizes overall utility. Seems logical, doesn't it? You're a hero. You've saved a net of 4 lives. But are you completely at ease? You killed someone. They would not have died if you hadn't intervened. You transformed the death from an accident into a deliberate act. You are no longer a bystander. You have become a killer. This unsettling feeling, this hesitation, is the beginning of our journey into the depths of the dilemma. Now let's change the scenario slightly. You are standing on the same bridge over the track. The trolley is still hurtling towards 5 people. But this time there is no lever. There is no sidetrack. However, standing next to you on the bridge is a very large, heavy man. You realize in a moment of horror and dread that if you were to push this man off the bridge and onto the track, his large body would be enough to stop the trolley before it reaches the 5 workers. The man will certainly die, but the 5 will survive. The mathematical outcome is exactly the same: 1 death to save 5. But now, when this question is posed, the vast majority of people say, impossible. I could never do that. Why? What changed? In the first scenario, you pulled a lever. There was a mechanical barrier between you and the act. But here, you have to touch a human being, to feel his body in your hands, and to deliberately push him to his doom. The act has become personal, brutal, and direct. Here, another philosophical voice emerges in your head, the voice of Deontology, associated with the philosopher Immanuel Kant. This voice doesn't care about outcomes. It cares about rules and principles. It tells you, there are actions that are inherently wrong, regardless of their consequences. Murder is wrong. Using a human being as a means to an end is wrong. You cannot use the large man as a tool or a human brake to save others, because that violates his dignity as a human being. His value is not in his weight, but in his humanity. These 2 scenarios reveal a deep conflict within our brain. Pulling the lever is a decision often made by the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for rational thought, planning, and calculating outcomes. It's the head doing the cold math. But refusing to push the man is a decision often driven by the amygdala and other regions of the limbic system, the centers responsible for strong emotions, disgust, and empathy. It's the heart screaming, do not kill. The trolley problem is genius because it puts these 2 systems in your head in direct war with each other. But the dilemma doesn't stop there. It gets even crueler. Let's go back to the lever scenario, but with a small change. The trolley is hurtling towards 5 people. On the sidetrack, there is a single person sleeping in a hammock, completely uninvolved with the railway or the trains, just enjoying their day. If you pull the lever, you are not choosing between 2 groups of potential victims. You are bringing a completely innocent bystander from outside the situation and making them a victim. Is pulling the lever still the right choice? Here, even utilitarians begin to hesitate because now you are not just minimizing harm, you are creating new harm that would never have happened otherwise. And now, the final, most painful version. Let's go back to the original first scenario. The trolley is hurtling towards 5 strangers. And on the sidetrack, that single person, Is your mother, your father, your child, or your best friend? What do you do now? Cold, utilitarian logic tells you that 5 lives are still more valuable than one, even if it's the life of someone you love. But could you really pull that lever? Could you sacrifice the person dearest to you for 5 people you don't know? Here, logic completely collapses in the face of loyalty, love, and tribal bias. Our minds are not neutral computers. We are emotional beings, programmed to protect our tribe first. This scenario reveals the uncomfortable truth. Even the most rational among us might abandon their principles when it comes to the ones they love. This dilemma is not just a thought experiment. It is at the heart of the most important debates of our time. Self-driving cars, for example, must be programmed with answers to these questions. If a car is about to hit a school bus, should it swerve and sacrifice its passenger to save the children? Who decides this? The programmer? The company? The government? You, when you buy the car. The trolley problem has no right answer. It is designed not for you to solve it, but for it to reveal you to yourself. It forces you to confront the uncomfortable truth. Our moral principles are not as fixed as we think. They are flexible, contradictory, and highly dependent on the context and on how close we are to the victim. Thank you for watching. And now, the question is for you, and I want an honest answer in the comments. In the first scenario, with a stranger on the sidetrack, would you have pulled the lever? I'll see you in the next episode.